Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button as you come on in. Yeah, we got to talk about Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz. And now some of the latest news, the breaking news that Terence Crawford has been stripped of his WBC title. Hit that like button as you come on in. We already got some people up in here in the chat early. But we go talk about Bud first, right? We go talk about Bud. We was talking about Bud last night. He was going in on social media about various things. We talked about it, right? But now Bud Crawford has been stripped of his WBC title from not paying the sanction fees. From not paying sanction fees.
He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route. No response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
Wow. So that's the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, giving a statement on why they stripped Terence Bud Crawford. Salute to everybody that's just coming in. Hit that like button. Yeah, we gonna talk about it, man. Yeah, they Don Royal, you was thinking the same thing I was thinking. They mad about something. Bud Crawford ain't even been champion. Undisputed. It ain't even been 6 months yet, right? Hell no, it ain't even been 6 months, bro. And they already pressuring dude for these fees and stuff, right? Y'all mad because he beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? He didn't thank you for what, Mauricio? Thank you for what? I fought Canelo for his belts. Like, I was a WBO champ just moving up. I just had the WBO belt. I didn't have no WBC at all for a while. I just got it just now after a while. Well, from Errol Spence too, right? Then he moved up after letting all the belts go. He moves up, fight Canelo for that WBC. Of course, the other belts as well. And then now I got to pay you motherfuckers $300,000. $300,000. $300,000, bro. Yeah, and they Shiraz and Mabili ain't bringing it. They probably likely will fight in a rematch for the belt next. You know what I'm saying? They likely will fight. Shiraz and Mabili will probably fight for that WBC belt in the rematch. That's likely what's going to happen. But they probably mad about Bud whooping Canelo. Canelo kept the WBC paid for a while. You know, they always made special belts for Canelo. They had a lot of concessions for Canelo. They're not gonna have that same grace for Bud. And Bud said, man, Bud don't care about none of that shit though. I think as long as he got the Ring magazine belt, you know, he got his little replica of the WBC, I don't think he really cares. Because if he cared, he would have paid the fees. But see, I'm not sure how these sanction fees and all this stuff works. I'm not sure when these guys got to pay it. Is there like a 3-month interval or 6 month, once a year? I'm not sure how it is, but they wanted $300,000, bro. And they said Crawford got like 50 million from the Canelo fight, and he didn't want to pay 300,000. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think it's kind of stupid to have to pay to be a champion anyway. Because if you're a younger fighter who just not coming up and you just start making some money, and then you got to get these motherfuckers all like a percentage, like just to hold the belt, like that sounds crazy. And then they say, oh, well, we giving it to fighters former fighters who? What former fighters? What former fighters? Because not even all the former fighters from back in the day, a lot of them didn't like WBC. We Be Crooks, James Tony and them. A lot of those dudes didn't even fight for the WBC a lot of the times for whatever reason. So what fighters are you really helping? Who you helping, bro? Who are these former fighters that you helping to keep these guys afloat? Where are they? They got their hand all in these guys' pockets, bro.
He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or I'm sorry, taking a different route. No response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
He's relieved. Relieved for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's something else, bro. I don't be believing these dudes in these suits and stuff, bro, just because they real professional and, you know, they businessmen and all that. I don't be believing a lot of this shit these guys be saying, bro. I don't be believing that shit. Not a thank you. Thank you for fucking what? Thank you for what? You didn't give me this shot at Canelo. I'm thanking Turkey for making the actual fight happen. That's the only person I'm thanking. And Canelo from taking the fight. What I'm going to thank you for? I don't thank the WBO for always rocking with me. But what I'm going to thank you for, bro? The WBC. For what? Why? I got to pay y'all just to show y'all belt. And I'm the man. The champion makes the belt. The fighter makes the belt. Them belts don't even really hold weight. We got dudes named Lewis Crockett got a fucking tie. Who is these guys? Baru Abbas. Like, who are these people? We got Barrios and Lion Chinaz Ryan fighting for a WBC title. Two dudes who are, in my opinion, let me be frank, they are not champion caliber guys. Ryan Cheating Lion fighting for a WBC title. He cheated. He missed weight. He was racist. He did all kinds of shit. I seen WBC threaten a strip guy. They threatened to strip Wilder years ago from saying he go catch a body. Just fighter talk, not no street shit. Just fighter talk. Barrios ain't the champ, bro. Like, I like Barrios, man, but man, nah, bro, come on, man. Like these dudes, bro, like they just put these belt on these dudes, man. We know who the real champions are, bro. We know who the real badasses are, bro. Some of them may not even got a fucking belt. The belts just look nice at the end of the day. They do. They look nice, especially when you got all of them. But it's the fighter that makes the belt, bro. Yeah, WBC, man, we be crooks, bro. James Tony told us this years ago. Barrios ain't beat nobody. He fought some people. He just ain't beat nobody. He's still a champion. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to hear none of this stuff but these political boxing dudes talking. I ain't trying to hear none of that. And Crawford ain't even been undisputed. He ain't even beat Canelo for 6 months. It ain't even been 6 months yet. It's been like, what, 3 months? Not a thank you, man. He was traveling the world. Not even a thank you. Like, what? Yeah, these people tripping, bro. He said Riddick both threw that belt in the garbage. Yeah, they mean something historically, but I mean, shit. His legacy is already cemented, bro. You said I heard it's because Turkey and them trying to make it ring the only belt. Yeah, because Turkey got the ring now. So he wants his belt to carry the most weight. And the ring really did carry the most weight because it showed you who the true champion really was in each weight class. The lineal title, the ring title, is the title that tell you who's the actual man in that division. Not the WBC, not et cetera, et cetera. Now it depends on the fighter too, but usually when the ring champion is the lineal champion, which means he's actually the champion. He's the guy to beat. That's what it really used to be. But that's some of the latest news with Bud, man. Mauricio Suleiman and them, you know, they 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 boxing gangsters, man. They boxing gangsters. They stripping Bud of his title. You know what I'm saying? They don't be liking these undisputed title champions anyway, unless it's guys like Canelo. They be stripping Usyk and shit too. You know what I'm saying? They don't really like. I noticed that certain sanction bodies strip certain dudes who don't necessarily got like a. Maybe it's just something that I been observing, but it seemed like dudes that got like, let's say if you a Filipino dude, or let's say if you a Mexican dude, like they let you keep them fucking belts. You know what I'm saying? But if you a dude from like Ukraine or even America to us, like they like if you ain't got like a huge like crazy like they not gonna let you. They be on some bullshit. They just be on some bullshit. Then they let Canelo get away with everything he wanted to do. They let Ryan Garcia get away with everything he wanted to do. And now he took a loss. He ain't got to work his way back up the ladder or nothing. He just gets the shot. He ain't got to go prove himself. None of that. He just gets the shot again. After cheating, losing, you know what I'm saying? He gets the shot again. So I ain't trying to hear nothing about what the WBC got to say. You said Bud. That's probably why Bud's mad. Yeah, Bud was going in on. He was going in last night, bro. I'm not sure if he was actually upset or if he was just kind of trolling. But it seemed like he was kind of low key upset though. Like he was kind of a lot more aggressive than he usually is. Normally he just kind of seemed like he just trolling with LOLs and stuff, but he was kind of going in. Yeah, Conor Ben gets a title shot as well. That's right. You see how that works? Conor Ben, he gets a WB. He ain't never touched the British title. He ain't touched the European title. He ain't did none of that. And I like Conor Ben, but he ain't did none of that. He just gets a shot. Why? Because he's popular, bro. He got the UK behind him. What I just tell y'all? WBC favors dudes who got countries behind them. If you're from the Philippines, if you're from Mexico, if you're from the UK, WBC will try to give you their belt. They give you an opportunity. If you Latino, if you Mexican, you automatically get a pass. That's just what it is. Y'all smash that like button. Oh, I figured that's what it was, bro. That the reports was going around saying that Bud wanted 100 million for the Canelo rematch, and I didn't do a video on it because I thought it was cap. But then I've been seeing it pop up on my Google notifications. It's like, wait a minute, what? So Google is kind of telling me this shit too. It's like, wait a minute, did he really say this? Like 100 million for the rematch? He could be a little upset because of that. Like reports coming out of stuff that he didn't even say. People putting words in his mouth. Crawford don't seem like he likes when people put words in his mouth. But you said, bro, WBC is in the business of making money, but refused to pay his fees to WBC 2 times in a row, and they gave him a huge discount. Bud still bitching. Fuck Bud. So you work for the WBC, huh? You must work for the WBC. They gave him what 2 times? What 2 times? Because we all just heard about this today. We didn't know the Bud didn't pay no fees. He just got the belts like a few months ago. He probably didn't even get his official WBC belt in the mail yet. Because, you know, he gave Canelo back his belts, right? Yeah, he gave Canelo back all those belts. He get his belts in the mail. He probably didn't even get his WBC belt yet. And he got to pay sanction fees. We don't know his side of the story. He just think he don't give a fuck because he's the man anyway. Refused to pay fees 2 times in a row. Who told you that? You work for Mauricio, dog? Bud didn't even say thank you. He didn't say nothing. He didn't even. It's not like he said, I'm not paying y'all, motherfucker. He probably didn't even know he was supposed to pay them this soon. He probably was too busy traveling, didn't even think about it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to consider who fights for that. I mean, nobody. The fighter makes the belt. You said WBC did Hagler wrong for years. WBC always doing black fighters wrong. They give Latinos benefit of the doubt, though. That's a fact. You ain't gotta like it, but that's just the truth. Wilder say something, oh man, we go strip you. Ryan can go on here on the internet and say the most egregious things you could say, and he's fighting for their belt. So fuck the WBC. You a fan of sanction bodies, bro. You ain't a fan of boxing. You a fan of sanction bodies, bro. Fuck them sanction bodies. The motherfuckers ain't giving no fighters. They helping no fighters. They not helping no fighters. What fighters they helping? Who are these fighters they helping? Who? So they get paid. Sanction fees is a bunch of bullshit anyway. Here I am. I got to pay for training camps. I got to pay my trainers. I got to pay my promoters. I got to pay my management. I got to pay everybody else on my team. And I got to pay just to carry your fucking belt. Are you serious? Then I got to get on the internet and hear shit from stupid fans. And you want me to pay sanction fees when I see losers like Ryan Garcia getting a fucking title shot? And you want me to pay sanction fees? You want me to say thank you? I fought Canelo for his belt. I didn't beg the WBC for a shot. And when Crawford asked the WBC, when he had his boy Chico, the dog, the pit bull guy, his boy Chico, who's friends with the WBC, he had Chico go over there and try to make something happen. WBC didn't even want to do nothing for him. I remember, y'all remember that? What was it? Okay. Oh, it was the Errol Spence fight. He went to the WBC directly to try to force that fight. But in the end, it was Errol Spence that actually made it happen. WBC didn't do Bud no favors, man. Fuck them, dog. So nah, man. Your mama a clown, bro. How about that? Do something about it. You up listening to me right now. Bitch ass nigga. The 75% of WBC go to helping boxers. Who? Who? What boxers? Name them. Name these former fighters. Name 3 of them. So Crawford got to go out there and off his blood, sweat, and tears and pay for, like, nah. Y'all do that. That's a crooked ass business, if you ask me. Y'all should be paying me to represent y'all fucking belt. Yeah, the sanction fees are 3%. It's supposed to be like 3% or something like that. But I think it depends on what the fighter's making. But in this case, Mauricio said that he only wanted 6%, which would have equaled out to 300,000. and then 225 of it goes to help the former fighters. Who are these fighters though? What former fighters? I ain't never seen no fighter say, yeah, man, WBC, yeah, they've been looking out, man. You know, things didn't work out in my career. You know, my money gone. WBC be looking. Who? Are they helping out Pritchard Cologne? Are they helping out the family of Max Dadashev? Huh? Are they helping those guys? The Paul Williams of the world? The families of the fighters that passed away? Nah, man. So nah. Come on, man. We be crooks, bro.
He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes 50.
He was mad about that. He didn't comply with what rules? When Crawford moved up, wasn't he only like did he only have like the WBO belt or some shit like that? When he moved up to fight Canelo, he was only like the WBO champ or some shit, right? If I'm not mistaken, he didn't even have no WBC moving up. It wasn't a situation to where, like, no, really what it is, they mad. Crawford fucked up their money. That's why they really mad. They didn't even give bros 5 months to do his victory lap. They didn't give him 6 months victory lap before they came knocking at the door talking about stripping. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. It is what it is. Go ahead, get a belt to Hamza and Mabili. Let them fight for that. Let them fight for that. See, you telling me to go look up the program. You just give me some names. Or you just on here talking. Give me some names of these fighters that they supposedly helping. WBC be lying and shit, man. I don't even dislike Mauricio Suleiman, but man, I see some of the shit he been on over the years. Favoritism and stuff like that. Either way, Crawford could have paid the shit. We all know that. He probably just didn't feel like it, bro. Either he probably forgot about it or he didn't feel like it. Yeah, Bud didn't get he probably didn't get his belt yet. They make you a brand new one. They give you a brand new one. They usually send it in the case. He probably didn't even get that belt yet. And they already asked for fees of a belt that he don't even got. But since you work for Mauricio, you let everybody know who these fighters are. That they helping. Because we all know what it really is. Crawford fucked up the money. Canelo held those belts. They made those special Mexican belts and stuff. They made all that for Canelo. Canelo kept them afloat. Canelo kept them paid. And WBC did whatever Canelo wanted them to do. WBC bend it to what Canelo's will. Canelo told them, nah, I ain't doing it. Okay, well, Canelo, what else? What could we do to work with you? Now, they don't give nobody else that grace, though. They don't give nobody else that grace, though. Oh, yeah. What's up, bud? What's talking to? They raising ostrine limits. Come on, man. Increasing the thresholds and doing all types of underhanded shit. And you got the nerve to come on here with that bullshit, bro. After all the fucking shit WBC has been doing over the years. But just because the guy come off as well-spoken, professional, and stuff like that, well, we got to believe what he say. But yeah, man, that's some of the latest news, man. Bud Crawford got stripped of his WBC title. A part of me feel like it has a lot to do with what happened yesterday, but whatever the case, they took the belt away. Now Crawford is only the unified super middleweight champion. But moving forward, man.
It's that time. It is. It's been that time. Yep, it's the perfect time too.
Jaron Ennis, man. And Vergil Ortiz was going back and forth on social media yesterday. And now we got some more news today in regards to this situation. Right? What's taking these dudes so long to get by their phone? Vergil Ortiz has some things to say in regards to this, right? They was going back and forth on social media. Right? My manager, Vergil says at Jaron Ennis, my manager tells me that we haven't received not one single offer from your side. Maybe tell your side to get on the phone in the first place and at me next time. Don't forget who's 2-0 and 0-2 when it comes to saying yes to agreeing to fights. Now, this may not be in the right order, right? Boo said, at you for what? I told you to your face, you next. But it don't look like you make your own decisions. Then he says, all right, so either one, you said no twice, or two, you let someone else say no for you. Which one is it? And he's laughing. Like, bro, why are we doing this? I don't really want to get too caught up into everything they were saying, because at the end of the day, this is it. I'm not about to keep going back and forth. Are we fighting next or not? At Eddie Hearn, at Oscar De La Hoya. I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you about this shit, dude. I came to you in your city, in your face. I said, let's fight next. You start doing the right? Neither one of us got to fight right now. You saying everything but let's fight. Everything but let's fight. Vergil also said, and if you were talking about Trello, don't get your hopes up. He already said no to me twice. So everybody's just I guess everybody's just ducking Vergil, y'all. Jamel Charlo said no twice, apparently, allegedly. Jaron Ennis don't want the fight. He's 0-2, right? But the latest news is Eric Gomez has told WBC that a deal could be reached between Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis as early as next week. So that's some of the absolute latest news. Is that the president, one of the Golden Boys, top guys, Eric Gomez, said that fight could be made as early as next week. So it may not be too much more back and forth on who's ducking who or who don't want the fight, stuff like that, right? But something telling me something's going to happen in negotiations to where the fight just ain't going to happen right away. It's just not going to happen. But Jaron Bruce Ennis is doing right. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's putting pressure on this dude. He's being really vocal on social media and letting everybody know, look, man, what's up with the fight? How come I ain't heard no phone call? Why they taking so long to answer their phone? You said exposed for the Jews. Who's on the Jews? Who's on the Jews, Bud? So Bud Crawford's on the juice. He ain't never test positive. You know what I'm saying? Not on accident. Not no contaminated supplement. Not no none of that. But he's on the juice. All right, cool. You said September 13th, December 13th. It's not even 90 days, and they tried to extort my boy. See, there we go. Somebody did the math on it. It ain't even been 90 days. You know what I'm saying? It's less time than I thought. And they already stripped Bud. He didn't even have the belt for, he barely had the belt for 90 days, bro. It's not even 90 days, and they already stripping him. Hey, come on, man. We already know what time they on, dog. Ain't no other reason to talk about it. Ain't no other reason to talk about it, bro. But WBC apparently is also got something to do with this fight. Apparently. I'm trying to think who has that WBC belt. Vergil got the WBC, right? Or is that like WBC interim or something? Because I think Fundora has the actual WBC. When's the first time he didn't pay his fees, bro? Against Errol Spence? I never heard nothing about that back when that happened. Crawford probably, he didn't really keep those belts. He kept those belts, but he said, man, fuck that shit, man. I ain't about to be defending these titles or nothing. Shit, I ain't paying no fees for that, man. I'm holding these belts, then I'm moving on up. Crawford doing what he wants to do, bro. What else we want me to say about it? He just doing what he wants to do. He probably like, nah, man. I'll pay the WBO. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay them. But the WBC and IBF, I'm cool. I'll hold these belts for as long as I can, but they ain't getting a dime. Yeah, Vergil has the intern, but they apparently making a fight with him and Boots. I would imagine that Turkey will kind of get more involved with this one. You know, I would imagine, right? Turkey will get a little bit more involved, but maybe Turkey really don't like Boots. Because he told Boots to come back when you got a real fight. Well, this is a real fight. This is probably one of the biggest fights to be made. This is probably one of the biggest fights to be made. And yeah, Bud got the WBO belt. And he tends to keep that one. And he seems to have the best relationship with WBO. He's always at their conventions. He was just at the WBO convention like what, a couple of weeks ago. They had like a WBO thing going on. Probably like what, sometime last month, I think. So he shows respect to the WBO and everything, but I don't think he really likes the WBC and the IBF too much. You said Turkey ain't supporting this crap. I don't think this is crap, bro. The Boots Vergil fight is not crap, bro. That's one of the better fights to be made right now. Definitely one of the better fights to be made. Now, will it live up to the hype? We go find out. But it's definitely one of the better fights to be made in the sport of boxing. Yeah, I don't know, bro. That's what I'm saying. We hearing that Oscar and, you know, maybe they trying to keep everything in-house for themselves, you know. But even though Turkey confront the bill for the fight, and they ain't really got to do no, you know, I don't know. Maybe they trying to do things without Turkey because Turkey kind of tried to underhand slight them too by getting Dana White involved. And let's be honest, Dana White had no clue what he was doing when he was promoting that Canelo fight. They could really should just had Eddie Hearn doing it, but Turkey they probably feel a little slighted about that, so they probably gonna try to lead Turkey out of this one. I don't know. That's just my assumption. Because Dana White he didn't have no clue what to even talk about. You know what I'm saying? He had no clue. He knows his fighters in MMA, but he don't know Crawford and Canelo like that. He don't know the narratives and the storylines that the public and the writers and the journalists have been talking about. He don't know none of that stuff, bro. So I don't know, man. But this fight is definitely not crap, bro. The Vergil Boots fight is definitely not crap. It'll be crap if it don't happen. And now the pressure is on Vergil, man, because there's nothing but space and opportunity, man. This is the perfect time, man. This is literally the perfect time. Like, Boots wasn't lying when he said that. If I agree with anything Boots said, it was this.
It's that time. It's that time. It is. It's been that time. Yeah, it's the perfect time too.
It was a perfect time. Smash the like button. It's the perfect time, man. It is the perfect time, y'all. Vergil tried to, elude it. Well, why didn't you call? And why, bro? Make the fight. Tell your peoples you want to fight. Simple as that. And we gonna see what happens. I don't think they gonna take the fight, bro. You says, why don't, cause Boots is hell on Ortiz, bro. And everybody else got shit lined up, dog. So let's just say Boots look past Ortiz. Okay, who else he gonna fight? Boots Ennis honestly can't afford to be fighting another Lima type guy again. He can't afford that. They lost money on that fight. They can't afford to be doing that, fighting those type of guys now. Like, why entertain anything else when everything else that's entertainable is locked in with something else? Bakaram got a fight with Josh Kelly coming up. That's the IBF champion. Baru got a fight coming up with Xander Zayas. Those are the other, you know what I'm saying? They got the other belts and shit. So who else is he gonna fight? Fundora's out. Keith Thurman's waiting on Fundora. Then we got Jamel Charlo, but he's kind of picking and choosing what he wants to do. The Big Fish ain't even made his 154-pound debut. Erickson Lubin, come on. Who else we got? Like, there's nobody else for him to fight right now. Everybody else got fights lined up. And Fundora's dealing with Thurman right now. So there's nobody for Boots to fight but Vergil. There's nothing but space and opportunity, bro. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. This is the worst case scenario for Vergil right now, who just starting to gain his stride. Right? This is the worst case scenario, really. That the timing aligned. This is the worst case scenario for Team Vergil Ortiz. And this is the best case scenario for Team Jaron Ennis. Because Team Vergil don't want to deal with this dude. Not right now. They want to make some money. They don't want to risk. They don't got nobody at Golden Boy, bro. I'm looking at the business aspect of this shit, too. Vergil himself probably will get in the ring and fight. Vergil himself. But his team, his handlers, they don't want him in there with this dude. And then that could possibly sway Vergil's confidence. So now he's kind of seemingly cowardly, in his willingness to take the fight. He's saying everything but let's fight. You know what? I'll fight Errol Spence next. Errol Spence?
Which one of them do you want next?
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm gonna be honest, it would be Spence because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T.
AT&T. There you go. At the Cowboy Stadium, and I just think that's my dream fight. And I don't care what anyone says about it. But anyone else, like I said, anyone can get it respectfully. I just want to fight the best. I'm just a competitive guy. Yeah.
What if it's Boots? You know what I'm saying? What if it's Boots, Verge? You said Boots could stay busy on Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams is a tough fight. Brandon Adams, I think people sleep on Brandon Adams, man. The guys are going to avoid him, bro. I ain't saying he'll beat everybody in the division, but I think Brandon Adams is one of those dudes in the division. They can give any guy hell on any given night. He'll arguably beat you too. We saw what he did with Boychuk, who Vergil Ortiz went tooth and nail with. Dude washed him. Totally washed him. He knocked him out in the first fight. And in the second fight, he completely outclassed him, outboxed him, just outclassed him. So Brandon Adams is a guy that, but nah, man, we ain't about to be doing none of that, bro. Because that's what they was doing with Crawford when he was pressing Spence. Well, why don't you fight Sean Porter? Why don't you go do this? Oh, well, go get this belt first. Go do something. Nah, man, Boots ain't got to do nothing, bro. We ain't about to do none of that. Boots got some belts. Bruce is the champion. Boots is an actual champion. You know what I'm saying? He actually touched the world title, man. Vergil ain't even touched that shit for real, for real. That WBC interim is just, it's a secondary title. It's not like he's not like considered the man. So all these photos we see of Vergil holding these belts, those are secondary belts, bro. Not to take nothing away from it, but it's strange that the Golden Boys two top guys, right, Vergil and Ryan, never fought for a world title. Strange enough, I'm not sure what that is. What's with that? You know what I'm saying? Never fought for a world title. It's just crazy. You say you think why Sim got in my ear? Nah. I told you guys I never disliked Boots. I just never thought he could beat Crawford. And he used to say some like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? But now the way Boots is moving right now is how Boots should have been moving. You know what I'm saying? Really pressing these dudes, and showing everybody. Because he received some bad rep from his opponents and some of the things he's been, saying in social media or on camera. But nah. I mean, that little beef between him and Bud, that's just the two fighters, man. Bud Crawford actually respects Boots. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. I ain't never had nothing personal against Jaron Ennis. I just didn't think he could beat Bud, and I thought he was pump faking with that. I thought that was a cloud chase, and we seen that it was true. Vergil did the same shit. Both dudes eluded that sanction body to go do something else for whatever reason. And it was probably the smart move to make for Boots not to be dealing with Crawford for real, for real. Boots can do his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Because Crawford likely would have kicked his ass. You know what I'm saying? And then we wouldn't be having, like, it just wouldn't be the same. People's gonna hate Bud easy. They just gonna not. People's not gonna like everybody, bro. Bud still got a lot of haters. We seen that yesterday. He got a lot of people talking hella shit in the comment section, talking crazy. So they still out here. You know what I'm saying? They still out here. You said De La Hoya milking their weak ass run. Yeah, he milking the hell out of their run, bro. And come on, man, you ain't lying. He milking the hell out of these dudes' run. Vergil needs to fight Boots next. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because now Virgil's starting to look like the duck. First, Boots was looking like the duck. Now Virgil's looking like the duck. Because Boots came to your city, bro. That's all I needed to see. He came to your city, got in the ring, and got in your face and told you, I want you next. It's the perfect time. I'm going to make you pay. He said, I'm going to make you pay. You said two-tone a major Bud hater? Yeah, they were just waiting for Bud to do what he did before they could start doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bud gave them all the fuel, the ammunition they needed too. Zaya is not gonna fight Boots, bro. Xander didn't even want to fight Vergil. Xander did not want to fight Vergil, bro. He didn't. He didn't want no smoke with Vergil. Top Rank can't afford to lose the kid in the title. Top Rank can't afford to lose nothing else. Top Rank just lost Brian Norman. They lost their network deal. They can't lose Xander too. So no, they're not gonna put him in there with somebody that they know he can beat because he's still a developing champion. He's not some champion that's truly fully polished and complete. He's just not. He's a young champion that's very vulnerable, in my opinion. So they're gonna put him in there with guys that he can beat until he's truly ready. They need him to do well because he's Puerto Rican. And the Puerto Ricans is another good fan base like the Mexicans. And they need him to do well so they can make money to draw the Puerto Rican Latino community. Because they've been starving for a fighter for a while. Danny Garcia just didn't move the needle like Miguel Cotto did. Who's one of my favorite fighters, by the way, Miguel Cotto. But that's just the business of boxing. Xander's what, 20 years old or something? 21, 20? Yeah, they didn't want to put him in there with Vergil. Vergil wanted to fight. Oh no, you gotta come to Puerto Rico. Vergil's like, nah, man, I'm not going over there. I'm not going over there. Now, he could have pulled the Devin Haney and went over there. That's why I said, why y'all hate on Haney? Haney went all the way to Australia. That's way farther than Puerto Rico. That's a whole day away. He went over there 2 times to fight dude. He did whatever it took to get it. You know what I'm saying? Vergil, that was their stipulation. Come to Puerto Rico and fight. Nah, Vergil didn't want to do it. I don't think Xander didn't want to fight Vergil anyway, though, to be honest. But if Vergil really wanted it, he would have went to Puerto Rico and got it. He would have called the bluff if they was bluffing. Just like I told Boots, he should have called Team Vergil bluff earlier. What was it? Earlier last year when this thing first started between them. Earlier in the year, when Vergil just fought old boy, and then like the day later they was like, hey, let's fight in a couple of months. After he fought, what's his name? Was it Kukachan or was it Stanionis? One of the two. They wanted to fight him like a month later, 2 months later in February. I'm like, man, that's not even realistic. It's a game to control the narrative. Boots got caught slipping. I told YSN, like, man, he need to tell them that he go take that fight. Even if he wasn't ready, you got to tell him, yeah. Why? Because it's the narrative. They trying to control it, and then they took control of it. But I think Boots kind of took it back. So him and Eddie going down there in Texas, going to that fight, gave Boots Ennis what he needed once again. Because he was looking like the duck out here. But I knew the play. I seen it. Oscar and them is very clever. You know what I'm saying? They very clever dudes, and Boots and them got caught slipping. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't controlling his narrative. Now he's out here controlling his narrative. So are we going to fight or what? Hey, I haven't heard nothing from a while. What's going on, Eddie? Oscar, are we fighting next or what? Vergil, what he say? Oh, well, you 0-2. You turned it down. No. Are we going to fight or what, dude? Nobody got time to be going back and forth with you, bro. I'm ready. Bro, what? You said Zayas beats Abbas for that. I never seen Abbas fight, bro. I never heard of this dude at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? But I never heard of him. I just never heard of him. I never heard of Abbas Baru. I've been following boxing for years. I've been following the WBC, the sanction, the divisions. I never heard of Baru, bro. What was he at amongst Tony Harrison and Jamel and Brian Mendoza and all those dudes that's at 54 for the past 5 years? Where was Baru at? I never heard of him, bro. So that's just a filler fight for Xander to become a unified champion. And then they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be unifying anytime soon. They're going to want to do their victory lap, make a lot of money as champions, build them into a potential star. You know, they're not going to put these young guys in there. These young dudes with titles, they're not going to put them in there like that. They saw what happened to Brian Norman. These young champions getting in with these more proven guys. They don't want to risk that. You say he came off. Oh yeah, he did beat Yordenes Telez. He did. And that dude was supposed to be pretty good. I mean, Baru probably is good, man. I never heard of him though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he had a layoff for a reason, just like Bakaram. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on the back burner, waiting for his shot for years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's that same situation. Maybe he is the tough dude. I ain't never seen him. I'm gonna check him out. But if Xander's fighting him, then it must be something that his team see that they can beat in this dude. Because they didn't want no smoke with Vergil. Because Vergil is a tough fighter. He's real game. He's tough. He has a fan-friendly style. He brings the action for sure. Vergil's a hell of a fighter. But could he beat Boots? I don't know. I don't think he can. I think Boots is just too dynamic, too versatile. He's a fighter cut from the same cloth as a guy like Bud, meaning that he's very disciplined. And he has a wide he has a vast tool set. Like he got a lot of different things he can do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Vergil Ortiz could keep up with if Boots Ennis really turns up in the fight. I just don't know. You said what we said 54 and what we thought it was 54. It was, you know what I'm saying, for years it was the dark division that was extremely competitive. But we're gonna find out if it still remains the same now. You know what I'm saying? Only time will tell. Because this is when you look at 54 now, it's a little different from what it was. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Tony Harrison fading out, Jamel Charlo, all those dudes that was, fighting. Lara ain't there no more. All those guys, man. Some of the guys that we don't see no more. Who's the Latino dude? What was he from? That Jamel fought. I forgot his name. He was a good ass fighter too. Haven't seen him since the second Jamel fight. What was his name, man? The short guy. He was kind of short, but he could fight. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I haven't seen him. Like none of those dudes. Like I don't know, man. We go find out. Yeah, Castano. Brian Castano. There we go. Brian Castano. Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, Brian Castano. Where he at? You know what I'm saying? Like he was a good fighter. Like what happened? You know what I'm saying? After the Jamel fight, we ain't seen him no more. I will say this: 54 is the spotlight is definitely on the division more so than it ever was. I think that's gonna be one of the more popular divisions for a time. I'm not sure how long, but because guys eventually move up to 160 and stuff like that. But I would say it's more popular than 160 right now. Oh, you said Ramos left too? So he at 160 now, huh? Damn, see? So we gonna have to wait and see. I still think it's really competitive though, but is it as competitive as it was or has been for years? We gonna find out. If the belts keep bouncing around and stuff like that. I think Boots go fight Bakaram. But Bakaram gotta fight Josh Kelly first. So in the meantime, Boots can go fight Vergil and then he go see Bakaram later. Because Boots gonna have to see Bakaram. If Bakaram gets past Kelly, which most people probably think he should, Boots go eventually see Bakaram because that's the winner of that fight. Eddie Hearn is gonna be in control of that fight, and the winner likely will fight Boots next. You said Jesus Ramos dug Boots for the WBA interim, got dropped to number 6, then said Boots lied about $7. Yeah, he did. He did do that. Yeah, when Boots first moved up, I guess he was one of the Ramoses. Yeah, they said the wrong Ramos. I remember that. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. But Boots gotta control his own narrative, man. Because that was some messy stuff. Man, him pressing Vergil is the right way to go about it. But according to boxing scene, and salute to boxing scene, um, Eric Gomez said that they working on it, man. We should hear something next week. And that we should hear something next week. Nothing but space and opportunity, y'all. Yeah. We gonna see what happens though. We gonna see what happens. I think that I think the pressure is on for Vergil Ortiz to really take the fight. It's gonna be hard for him to kind of come up with a clever excuse in the current climate of boxing to not fight Ennis next, especially when we all know that there's nothing else lined up for nobody. That there's really nobody for neither guy to fight right now. And if either guy fights anybody besides each other, I think they'll receive a shit ton of criticism. Because why ain't you guys fighting each other? Here we go again. We did this with Errol and Crawford for 5 years. We did this with Errol and Terence for 5 years. We not about to do this with y'all. I think Boost killed that narrative for me, bro. The Crying Wolf stuff, when he went down there. A real scary dude wouldn't do nothing like that, bro. A scary dude wouldn't do it, bro. They just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't get in the ring either. Remember when Crawford fought Porter? And he said, I heard Arrow's in the building. Arrow got up and left. He didn't even get in the ring with him. He got up and left. You know what I'm saying? He got up and left, shaking his head like, damn. I thought Porter's going to do better than that. He did good against me. Crawford ran him out of the ring. I'm getting up out of here before they could tell me to get up in there. Same thing, bro. But Boots Ennis, he went down there and got in the ring on dude. If he was scared, he wouldn't did that, bro. You said Oscar got the terms? You said Boots made Vergil duck IBF eliminator. Claims oh yeah, he did, bro. Actually, Oscar came out on an official article, on Ring Magazine article, saying that Bachman was too tough. I did a video on it. Like, so come on, man. They literally said Bachman is too tough. Like, there was a quote and everything. Like, damn. All right. So if he's too tough now, he gonna be too tough later too. Because Bachman ain't no old dude. But I think Boots beats Vergil when it happens. I do think it's a great fight. And I do think it's a fight that the sport needs. And I think Jaron Ennis should keep pressing him. You know, we go wait and see what happens. We're gonna see if the negotiations go down. We should be hearing something early as next week, according to Boxing Scene, via Eric Gomez, the one of the presidents of of the Golden Boy Promotions. We go see what happens. I don't think Vergil could beat Boots, and I think it kind of shows in a lot of his statements and his energy. His energy when it comes to Boots is somewhat dismissive. It's not welcoming the challenge type of energy. You know what I'm saying? It's not as welcoming. I kind of go off energy. You know what I'm saying? Your energy ain't as welcoming for this challenge, bro. You don't really want to seemingly want to challenge yourself like that. You want to try to talk about, you know, some stupid shit that's kind of irrelevant right now when y'all, neither one of y'all got nothing lined up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's some of the latest news. Vergil Ortiz, Jaron Boots, Ennis. We should hear something early as next week. Ennis start pressing Vergil Ortiz yesterday. They had a few back and forth words in regards to making a fight, and now we're gonna see if the fight actually gets made. Also, Terence Crawford gets stripped of his WBC title via WBC because, well, he didn't want to pay the sanction fees. But yeah, man, salute to everybody in the building. Thank you guys for stopping in this morning. Much love to all you guys. Hit that like button for your boy if you're catching the replay. Hit that like button for your boy if you're in the chat. Catch you guys on the next one. Love you, ma. Peace out.